Welcome to the 10-Minute Life Lesson Podcast. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. When the timer hits 9 minutes and 59 seconds in this recording, you will have a fully developed life lesson that you can take with you and begin implementing immediately. This podcast falls under the umbrella of my greater personal development efforts, all under the Your Better You brand. For more information on accountability coaching or to gain access to tools, tricks, and life hacks, visit yourbetteryou.info. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. Now, here is this week's life lesson. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you are blessed to be born within the confines of the United States or be born to a citizen of the United States, you have those inalienable rights who were brought to you by your Creator. So, despite the fact that some of our forefathers may not be as down with JC as some of the now fathers want you to believe, you have those rights. You have the right as birth per American to life, to liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And while there are many countries out there in this very large world that offer very great things for their citizens, nobody does it quite like us in the good old U.S. But it's not so much a United States thing, and it's not so much a capitalism thing or a democracy thing or whatever form of government or economic system that you actually happen to live under. You do have inalienable rights. You have rights based on your Creator, or if you don't go that way, based on the fact that you were created. There is no caste system. There is no checks and balances that puts you down when someone else should be up just on some sort of ledger. If you have the ability to listen to a podcast like this one, then you have the ability to do what pretty much whatever it is you want to do, or at least attempt to do whatever it is you want to do. You have rights. You have choice. You have abilities, and you have the capability to put them all together and do what it is you would like to do. Life. Literally, you have the right to live, the right to be alive, the right to exist in the physical spaces that are shared with the rest of the world, but you have your right to your personal space and no right for anyone else to infringe on that personal space for no particular reason. Liberty. You have the right to use your personal space as you please, assuming that you're not encroaching on someone else's liberty or their life. Assuming that you take to yourself and take care of yourself and take care of a few other people in the process, because we all are in this thing together, your liberties should not be encroached. Now, there are times where our personal differences in what we believe is liberty and what we believe is right and wrong can turn into an issue between people or groups of people that have an issue with having resolution. Because there are some issues we ain't figured out yet in the thousands of years we've been on the planet and the 200 or so years we've had this country right here, if you're in the States. But liberty and life are two things that are pretty simple. You're alive, you have a right to stay alive. You are free, you have the right to stay free, assuming that your life and your freedom does not necessarily encroach on someone else. The pursuit of happiness is the thing that's a little bit iffy for many people, because many of us in this current day and age are looking for some euphoria, some happiness, some quotient where we can be on the upside pretty much 99% of the time, and that 1% just be slightly low just so we can get a little boost back up to the top. Your pursuit of happiness is not that. You have the right to pursue happiness all your life, with all your liberty, but you don't necessarily reach happy. Happy, in fact, is a hard thing to reach, so I'm not sure if the founding fathers would know 200 years in the future where things would be if they would use that actual word. But it's a simple word and makes perfect sense, and you understand it. You don't have the right to happiness. No one has the right to happiness. No one owns the ability to be happy, to be well, to be better than anyone else. But you have every single right to pursue happiness in whatever way doesn't encroach on other people's life and liberty and their pursuits of happiness. Now, there are degrees where this is going to come into play. So if you want to be first place in something and other people want to be first place in that same thing, somebody's not going to be first place. So you can either pursue that first place thing and get that hit, pursue that first place thing, come in second, be happy with that, or pursue that first place thing, not come in first, and just deal with the consequences. As long as you're not knocking off the guy in first place because that would make you happy, you're fine. But you have these rights. You have these abilities. You have every single ounce of being to do what it is you want to do. No one should be able to control you. No one should be able to completely tell you what to do, lock you down for whatever it is that they think you should be. You should know what you want to be, and that's also a curious thing in itself, because many people go into very, very late age not knowing exactly who it is they want to grow up. So essentially they get older but never tend to grow up. They can do that. If that's what makes them happy, that makes them happy. But they also can't, as I said, encroach on someone else's happy, someone else's life, someone else's liberty. So take care of what you got going on. Take care of your business. Take care of what you need to be taken care of. And then most people don't have a claim to complain about what you're doing. They can do it. That makes them happy. Let them be. But they can't really pull anything. They have no credit into whatever it is you're doing because they should be doing their own thing. They have the right to help themselves, just like you have the right to help yourself. And I suggest you do that. Do whatever you can at whatever minute to help yourself. There will be people along the way who don't understand what it is you're trying to do, who it is you're trying to be, and why it is you want to be that person. It might seem strange, and you know what? It might actually be strange. It might be something that does not fit a norm of reality, but that's not the problem. Literally, if you're not hurting anybody, then you should have a chance to try it. It may not look like what everyone else is doing, and that might be the point of why it is you want to do it. But that's what makes it scary to so many other people. Life works so much easier. Trust me, it works so much easier when everybody falls in line with the position that they hold. And that's something I truly believe. Everyone has a slot to fill, or some slots to fill, in other people's lives in this big grand scheme of things. So we can't go off willy-nilly doing what we want to every single day, because we are accountable to ourselves and we are accountable to the other people around us to help things go. But we are not bound by pretty much anything. There are no castes. There are no slaves, at least not in a modern sense. So anyone who has the power to listen to a podcast is probably not being held up and held down to do some sort of menial task beyond their will. And if you are, then that's the first step you need to work towards, is breaking those chains and moving forward and finding some resolution for that. But you have your own rights, your own abilities. You have your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It's something that's in our Constitution here in the United States, so it's something that literally is law. But many of us, and I say it in larger scheme of things, have seen instances where because of something, maybe it's skin color, maybe it's gender, maybe it's sexual orientation, maybe it's something that some larger group with more control and more power have decided that because of that, we are not worthy of the full rights to life, liberty, and that whole pursuit of happiness thing. And that's a shame, because everyone is good for that. Everyone gets that. It's in the Constitution. Literally, it's something that you cannot deny someone. If you do, there are consequences. Granted, this is the world we live in, and life isn't always that fair. And as I said, people with power and influence can have power and influence over some things and some people. But let's take this on a micro level, not a macro level. Let's think this on the level of a you one-on-one with other people. Take the time to take care of what you need to take care of. Take care of yourself physically. Take care of the needs, amenities that you have that need to be taken care of. And if you can honestly handle yourself and handle your business, no one out there should be able to bully you around and boss you around and tell you what to do. It's really is that simple. You have your rights to be who, what, how you want to be. Live up to it and do it. Take a breath, focus, and figure it out. Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Thank you for listening to everything we're doing. Thank you for being with us in our transition. And thank you for sticking with us as a lot of things that we're trying to take care of aren't obviously getting done in the timely manner that we wish they were getting done. We are still in a state of flux right now, and that's been the excuse I'm going to use because it is the reason that things are kind of out of flux. Things are not in flux right now. But we appreciate you sticking with us through all that we're going through, all the growing pains and all the frustrations of making transitions. If you're in a transition, maybe we can help you out here with Your Better You. Stop by the website yourbetteryou.info and check out more information on this podcast, 10-minute life lesson. Also, Steps Your Better You. You get a 90-second or even quicker lesson just like that, and find information on coaching, things that we can do together to help improve how our life is going. If you're listening to this thing in real time, you'll know that as is being released on the 7th of June 2019, we are currently working on a new cohort for a program I have called Better You in 52. So look for that in the upcoming weeks, an announcement on that one. If you're looking for a group, I don't want to call it group coaching. It's not really group coaching, but it's a group of people going through the struggles of life together and using themselves as sounding boards to themselves. It's going to be absolutely free, no cost whatsoever. So don't think of it as a coaching commitment. Just think of it as going into a accountability group of folks like-minded who want to get things better. We can do that together. Trust me. Check that out. Coming out in the next upcoming week or so. There'll be announcements all over the place, especially on the website yourbetteryou.info. Email me at yourbetteryouinfo@gmail.com, or you can email me at jclevelandpayne@gmail.com because that's my main email. My website is jclevelandpayne.net. Check that out for as much information as I can give you about other things going on as I keep them going, because that website needs a little work as well. State of flux. The right to life. I'm doing my best to live. Liberty. Trying to do my best to live as positively as possible. And pursuit of happiness. I'm doing my best to do what I can. What makes me happy is working with people to make them better. And that will be great if you want me to help you out as well. We can pursue our happiness together. So check out all of those ways that I told you we can get together, and be here next week for another podcast. Subscribe to this podcast and Steps Your Better You so you don't miss out on it. It comes automatically in your podcatcher, whatever catcher you like. You were there. And as we said, next week, another episode, another 10-minute life lesson. Quick, simple, easy. You can take it and get in onto it right now. The 10-minute life lesson from yourbetteryou.info.